Given that I have some of the most popular Horrid Henry videos on the internet, you might have wondered, Snipe Snap, why don't you make videos about Horrid Henry anymore? Well, that's because a certain YouTube channel kept stealing all of my ideas. Having someone steal your ideas is bad enough. It's even worse when their video gets more views than yours. It makes you wonder what the point is when someone can just rip off your work and profit with no consequences. But I want to go deeper than just showing that they copied my ideas. Copying both a title and a thumbnail is dodgy, shady, and unethical. But this is YouTube. It happens. Look, it happened again just 4 days ago. No, what I'm going to prove today is that Streamed stole my scripts, used AI to repackage them, and make them look more polished than my genuinely researched, written by a human original. As a channel, they managed to get 2.3 million views in the process. Originally, I wanted to do a breakdown of every video they plagiarized from me, line by line. But then I realized if I did that, my video would have genuinely been hours and hours long. Therefore, we'll focus only on my Rude Ralph video today, as it's a prime example of Stream's shameless, blatant plagiarism. I reported the channel Streamed to YouTube. Nothing happened. I called the plagiarism out on a community post. Nothing happened. Smash that like button if you think that AI plagiarists like Streamed should be taken off YouTube immediately. So let me show you, dear viewer, the evidence. I'm not just talking line by line copying here. I'm talking entire themes, entire analytical frameworks, entire arguments ripped wholesale. For me, this is more than just plagiarism, this is intellectual robbery. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go through all 13 exhibits. Exhibit A, near identical character intros. Both scripts open by describing Rude Ralph using the same adjectives: cheeky and mischievous. Rude Ralph, as his name suggests, is one of the cheekiest and most mischievous characters.
Rude Ralph, known for his cheeky nature and mischievous tricks.
Both videos then say that Ralph also has a northern accent and loves causing trouble. From his northern accent to his love of causing trouble, Ralph is a memorable sidekick to the show's protagonist, Horrid Henry.
Stands out as the perfect companion to Henry, with his distinct northern twang and love for mischief.
They didn't just borrow my introduction, they practically photocopied it. Here's yet another example. He's the second in command for the Purple Hand Gang.
He is second in command of the Purple Hand Gang.
Hit subscribe to support human creators instead of AI plagiarists. Thank you. Back to the video. Exhibit B. The only true friend question. Many fans consider Ralph to be Henry's only true friend. But how accurate is this claim? I mean, when you think about it, how close are Henry and Ralph really when push comes to shove?
However, many people maintain that Ralph should be considered Henry's only friend. But how truthful is this claim?
Yes, even the entire thesis of my video got nicked. Sigh. Exhibit C. Identical analysis structure. So, they copied the "is Ralph Henry's only friend" idea. Fine. They then went on to copy my structure that I used to answer this question. This is my analytical framework, the backbone of the entire video, and they've stolen it wholesale. Firstly, we look at the books. We're going to start by looking at the original books by Francesca Simon. I'm talking 1990s.
In response to this question, it is necessary to look at Francesca Simon's books from their creation in the 90s.
But there have been 25 Horrid Henry books. I'm sure Streams will look at different books to Snipe Snap. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. We'll look first at Horrid Henry and Horrid Henry's Revenge, both released in 1994, and we'll then move on to Horrid Henry Tricks the Tooth Fairy, released in 1996.
First, we shall look at Horrid Henry and Horrid Henry's Revenge, both of which were published in 1994, and then Horrid Henry Tricks the Tooth Fairy, published in 1996.
I then decided to compare book Rude Ralph to Ralph's portrayal in the TV series, dividing the discussion into Season 1 versus later Seasons 2 to 5. And would you believe, Stream had the exact same idea. What are the odds? We'll start with Season 1, and we're actually going to look at Season 1 in isolation. And there's a good reason for that. The reason being that Ralph is a very different character in Season 1.
Moving to the animated series, particularly Season 1, Rude Ralph is a different character altogether.
We'll look at how Ralph develops and transforms as a character in seasons 2 to seasons 5.
When advancing into later seasons, 2 to 5, Rude Ralph transforms.
Exhibit D. Book Ralph versus TV Ralph's appearance. Before we get on to appearance, did you know that Rude Ralph is mean in the books? In Francesca Simon's Horrid Henry books, Ralph is portrayed as being more mean-spirited than in the TV series.
Ralph also appears in Simon's original books and is seen as meaner than he is in the animated series.
Then we move on to describing how book Rude Ralph looks. In the books, Ralph has neatly combed hair, pale skin, and wears a grey jacket, a white shirt, and black shoes. His more formal attire reflects his more uptight character compared to the TV series.
He combats his well-groomed hair and is dressed formally, wearing a grey jacket, white shirt, and black shoes.
Top tip streamed. If you're discussing book Rude Ralph, it might be helpful to show pictures of book Rude Ralph, not TV Rude Ralph. I know you didn't do this because you never even opened the book in the first place because you copy me, but anyway. We then, coincidentally of course, discuss how the different appearances reflect Ralph's personalities. The more laid-back dress code reflects Ralph's more laid-back, more chilled, more zen, if you like, personality.
The formal look depicts a formal personality different from that of comedian Ralph, which complements the black-boned, I don't bother attitude of TV Ralph.
Black-boned? What the hell is black-boned? According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, black-bone is a member of the Nosu ruling class. Well done, streamed. Well done. What a great way to describe Rude Ralph. At this point you might be thinking, okay, they copied the structure and some details and maybe something else. No. Keep watching, it gets so much worse. Exhibit E, the birthday party example. Both videos assert that in the books, Henry and Ralph are not truly close friends. You might think that Henry and Ralph are best mates, but that's if you're only reading with half an eye.
Indeed, at first sight, one can think that both Henry and Ralph are great friends, but they always appear to know each other so well.
Snipe, Snap and Streamed then back this up with the same scenario from Horrid Henry's birthday party. Out of the dozens of possible book examples, they chose the exact same one that I did. Coincidence? Oh please! Let's take a look at the story Horrid Henry's birthday party as a prime example. When Henry's planning his party, he debates whether or not to even invite Rude Ralph. In Henry's words, Ralph would be good because he would be sure to get into trouble.
For example, in Horrid Henry's birthday party, Henry thinks about inviting Ralph as a friend only because Ralph is a troublemaker.
And did you know that Ralph didn't invite Henry to his own party, which is evidence of a shallow transactional relationship? The fact that he didn't invite Henry to his party shows that deep down, Ralph doesn't see Henry as a particularly close friend.
Ralph does not invite Henry to his party, which reveals to him that Henry is not a friend.
Exhibit F. The Moody Margaret Rumour. Both scripts use further book examples to underline the flimsy, disloyal nature of Henry and Ralph's book friendship. Again, same examples, same order, same interpretation. This is systematic theft. I firstly describe how Ralph turns on Henry when a rumour spreads about Henry liking Moody Margaret. When rumours spread about Henry wanting to marry Moody Margaret, Ralph doesn't defend his friend. Quite the opposite, actually. He joins in with the crowd.
Furthermore, while the others gossip about Margaret and say that she dumped Henry since he wants to marry Moody Margaret, Ralph also becomes part of Henry's teasing.
Yep, Ralph sure is unreliable/untrustworthy. Ralph's willingness to mock Henry in public shows just what an unreliable friend he really is.
This evidently points to Ralph's untrustworthiness. He is self-serving and hesitates not to betray his friends for the sake of fun.
Henry also calls Ralph Ralphie Walphie, which sounds nice, but is actually mean. Henry likes to tease Ralph by calling him Ralphie Walphie. While this might sound playful and fun, it's actually something that really gets under Rude Ralph's skin.
Again, when Henry comes close to telling Ralph, Ralphie Walphie, it is done in a way that sounds cruel rather than endearing.
Yes, the relationship is basically a facade/superficial. All in all, Book Henry and Book Ralph's friendship is a mere facade.
In other words, the kind of friendship portrayed in the books is rather superficial at most.
In other words? You mean, in my words? Streamed is the YouTube embodiment of this meme. Can I copy your homework? Sure, just change a few things so it's not so obvious. Exhibit G. Season 1 Ralph as a frenemy. Listen out strongly for the F word. frenemy. In season 1 of Horrid Henry, Ralph isn't the loyal second-in-command he later becomes. Ralph is more of a classic frenemy.
Moving to the animated series, particularly season 1, Rude Ralph is a different character altogether. Here, he stays just as some kind of frenemy.
He's on Henry's side a lot, but also stabs him in the back. Yes, he's often on Henry's side, but at the same time, he's very quick to turn on him when it suits his own needs.
Remaining loyal to Henry, yet being able to betray the latter at the first opportunity.
They even used the exact same episode I did as evidence, Horrid Henry's underpants. Take the episode Horrid Henry's Underpants as a prime example. Ralph doesn't hesitate to join in, laughing at Henry's misfortune.
In stories like Horrid Henry's Underpants, he stands on the side, taking humor from whatever harsh fate is in store for Henry, instead of sticking by the young kid.
Exhibit H, the school fair betrayal. Both scripts also bring up Horrid Henry's school fair to illustrate Ralph's early tendency to betray Henry. 2 examples in a row, both mine. At this point, they're not even trying to hide it. Ralph's aggressive streak comes out in the episode Horrid Henry's school fair. Ralph's anger escalates quickly and he physically threatens Henry's very well-being.
Ralph has a more violent side. For this reason, Henry instantly receives a punch in the sleeves for duping him into losing money, as displayed in Horrid Henry's school fair.
We're 8 exhibits deep now, and they're still following my exact same structure. When he gets annoyed or when he feels betrayed, he does not hold back, even if it means going after his supposed best mate.
They are as thick as thieves one moment, and the next, Ralph is looking to hit his supposed best friend.
Every single example is mine. Exhibit I, Ralph's transformation in later seasons. As both scripts progress to the later seasons, they describe a significant change in Ralph's character. From season 2 onwards, Rude Ralph goes through one of the most noticeable transformations on Horrid Henry.
When advancing into later seasons, 2 to 5, Rude Ralph transforms into one of the most crucial characters in Horrid Henry.
He shifts from becoming a somewhat unreliable mate to becoming a loyal and dependable friend.
In the beginning, he is an irresponsible and selfish man.
Man? What do you mean, man? Rude Ralph is 10 years old. Oh my god, AI is dumb.
Who suddenly changes to a man who is ready to support Henry no matter what happens.
Now streamed, it uses the exact same episode to mark Ralph's transformation. In the episode Horrid Henry's Horrid Heroes, we finally get official confirmation of Ralph's position as Henry's number 2. If that's not loyalty, then what is?
In Horrid Henry's Horrid Heroes, Ralph is declared Henry's second of the Purple Hand Gang, a sign of a new membership and loyalty.
Exhibit J, the trial episode. There are 250 episodes of Horrid Henry. Surely at some point streamed will reference a different episode to Snipe Snap. Surely! Ralph's loyalty is especially highlighted in the episode Horrid Henry on Trial.
His loyalty is most evident in programs such as Horrid Henry on Trial.
Yep, it's another episode match. That's 9 examples in a row that are identical to mine. Rude Ralph steps in to act as Henry's defense lawyer.
In which Henry is dressed as a defendant and Roop.
This proves just how far he's willing to go for.
This act portrays how stretchy he is over a friend.
Stretchy? What are you even trying to say here, streamed? Stretchy? I then say this is different to season 1 Ralph, as does streamed. If this was season 1, would Ralph have been there in the same way? I doubt it.
Which aspect we could not perceive from the Ralph of season 1.
We both conclude this section by playing the exact same clip for evidence, because of course we do.
Members of the jury, today I shall prove without a shadow of a doubt that Henry has been conned. Yes, conned out of the reward. Today I shall prove without a shadow of a doubt that Henry has been conned. Yes, conned out of the reward.
Exhibit K, the farewell episode. I mentioned the TV episode Horrid Henry Says Goodbye, and guess who copies? In the episode Horrid Henry Says Goodbye, he organises Henry's friends to make the case to Henry's mum that Henry should, rather than move house for Silly Simon's new job, Henry should stay in Ashton to be a part of the community.
In the last episode, Horrid Henry Says Goodbye, Ralph gets a send-off gift for Henry due to a change of location because of his mother's transfer.
Misinformation. It's silly Simon moving job and nothing to do with the mother. Next, plagiarism. He takes it in his stride, showing a level of maturity that's surprising for a boy of his age.
This puts into perspective a level of maturity in Ralph's character growth that is not seen in the previous seasons.
Exhibit L. Ralph's well-rounded growth. Both scripts note that by the later seasons, Ralph has developed a more well-rounded personality, pointing out, for instance, that Ralph can comfortably interact with people, even girls. Ralph's mellow attitude and his ability to get along with others, including girls, highlights just how different he is from horrid Henry.
He grows as a character and is now able to interact with people, including girls.
This point about the girls is a subtle, analytical point I made about Ralph's character development. And somehow, magically, it appears in their script too. Tut, tut, tut. Exhibit M, the conclusion. Finally, both scripts conclude with a very similar analysis. They contrast the superficial friendship in the books with the genuine friendship that develops in the TV series. In the books, their friendship is just one of convenience with little affection on either side. But TV Ralph, he's something entirely different. Yes, he may start as a bit of a wild card, but he sure becomes Henry's most loyal, dependable friend.
Book Rude Ralph and TV Rude Ralph are two perfect examples of such a transition. While Ralph is simply troubled and a source of jokes in the book, in the show, he finally becomes the partner in crime and friendship.
Even the conclusion, the crescendo of my entire argument gets stolen. Take a look at how similar the phrasing is. This evolution shows just how much Rude Ralph's character has grown in the Horrid Henry TV series, making him not just Henry's ally, but his only true friend.
Is Rude Ralph, therefore, the only angel Horrid Henry has? In many ways, yes. Simon turns out to be Henry's friend who stands for him during all his difficulties and adds humor to Henry's crazy experience.
I'm sorry, what did that just say?
Simon?
How do you get Ralph and Simon confused? Like, how? So that's 13 exhibits of plagiarism. 13 times they copied my structure, my examples, my analysis, and even my specific phrasing. But you want to know what really gives away that they used AI in like all of their videos? The massive mistakes. Because AI transcription software, it doesn't understand context, so it just guesses. And sometimes those guesses are, well, watch this.
Why did you do that? Because Henry will be horrid to me!
Yes, disgusting AI hits a new low there. And how about this?
Henry!
It was Peter's fault! He sprayed me!
Streamed. It's not Pizza's fault, it's your fault. You plagiarizing piece of shit. But here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when a channel built on stealing someone else's videos suddenly has no one left to copy? As you may have noticed, I moved away from making Horrid Henry videos. This was due to being copied by Streamed so blatantly and so obviously, and yet they totally got away with it. It severely impacted my motivation to make Horrid Henry lore videos, leading to me doing content such as Battle of the Brats and AI slop analysis instead. The result of this? Streamed suddenly had no one to steal from anymore, which is when their channel took a bizarre turn. They released their last Horrid Henry video on 9th of March 2025, and then abandoned Horrid Henry entirely. They now release 3-hour-long videos, all AI generated of course, about space. Nobody's watching them. Their last video is called Avi Loeb claims that 3L Atlas is going to stay in our solar system, released on 18th of October 2025. It has just 94 views. It's a far cry from the millions of views they got from taking my ideas and my content. Yes, it turns out when you can't steal someone else's passion and someone else's research, you got nothing left to offer. Streamed, who knew? Fans are confused, with some writing, well, this channel fell off. Where is Horrid Hens? I assume they mean Henry. Why are you not posting about Horrid Henry anymore? Look, I could answer that last one. They're not posting about Horrid Henry anymore because I'm not posting about Horrid Henry anymore. It's that freaking simple. Goodbye, streams. You will be missed. Not.